Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain back for some more Dungeons and Dragons Online. Alright, so for this quest here, we are back in Necropolis, in the upper section of Necropolis. Now we're going to pick up the quest from Holton Cassane, and this is for the Desecrated Temple of All. Now this quest here is one of the easier ones, and generally the one most farmed in order to get the pieces of the sigil, as again it is probably about the easiest one to farm, and it is definitely the fastest. Of course you can get some other pieces with it, such as the shield or the tome pages. As well, there is a nice little optional that we can do as well. So unlike the other two that we had done, this time we are not actually going to be heading left. Rather, we are going to be headed right. Now, one thing I want to point out is that guide that we saw right at the door before we hopped off the ledge, he can actually teleport you to any of these quests that you've already done. So, because we've gone through and we've done Ghost of Perdition and the Fleshmaker's Laboratory, we would be able to talk to him and teleport to those two locations. Obviously, once we complete Desecrated Temple of All, it adds that to the list of areas. And this also goes for the Epic Necro area as well. Again, once you've done the quests, it does let you teleport out there. So, gives you a little bit of an upper hand once you head over to Epic Necropolis. Alright, so as you see, we're just going to kind of head south. I want to head all the way to this giant building over here.
The eastern crypts
And we're going to head
house
up
the
the
bodies
ramps.
of those most faithful to the Black Abbot. This once magnificent Temple of Vol was ravaged
So the
by
easy
the
way to
Black
run up the
Abbot's
ramps,
forces.
simply walk on the sides rather than the actual staircase. And then you can walk on the ramp right here. And that'll take you to the very top. And we can jump on in. Alright, so you definitely want Death Ward in this quest. They definitely have a lot of shadows, which like to drain your stats.
The interior of the temple has suffered
So that's
just as
definitely
greatly
something
as
that
the
you
exterior.
are wanting. And I'm going to adjust that DM narration. Alright, so the first thing once we're down here, we do want to pull, there's two levers. There's one here, which will open up a wall there.
The catacombs are sealed by two intricately locked
And a
boxes.
second one here. Now, turn that down a little bit further. Which will open up the wall here. Now, we do gotta go both sides, so I'm gonna start with the west, just because we're on this side.
The hallways here have
There
been
we go.
crushed by the force that destroyed the temple.
Now, we have to go through all these
The
spinning
hallway
blades.
ahead
If you do
screams
not
of death
have
and dismemberment.
any type of evasion, be it monk or the rogue evasion, I don't recommend trying to run through the blades. As well, it will also shoot some arrows coming down the two paths here. What you can do, however, kill the Carnage Reaper first and foremost. No. What you can do is you can actually head to the side here, so the left side, and you can actually just jump over these. You want to kind of do so facing the wall. That way you're not actually in the path of the blades there. Now we do have one trap there, and one trap box on this side. So you can feel free to grab those while we're here. And continue again doing the exact same thing. Which is kind of jumping over here. Now once you get to the end, you're going to want to head straight up the ramp. Here we're going to have a few enemies and a quell, or rather a few more shadows and a quell. Once everybody is dispatched, go ahead and grab your strongbox, which will give you a key.
This key will open the first of the seal locks.
Now that we have our key, we do need to grab the rest of our traps, so there's one here at the arrows. And then one on the left and right here to get the final ones of the spinning blades. Now, you'll notice the blades themselves didn't actually stop spinning. However, we will no longer take damage from them. So because we got both sets of them, we can now safely run through without taking damage, and we can stop right here. Like, as you can see, we're not actually getting hit any longer. Alright. So now from this point, the gold key that we got is going to unlock this control box. And now we gotta head on the eastern side and do the same thing. And by that I mean go to the end and get the key. So here we gotta hop in the water, head left, left again. We're gonna need to head down this tunnel. Now here again we have some blade traps on the sides and some arrow traps. So the best way is to actually just run right through. You will get hit a few times by those arrow traps, but it's definitely the safest is just to run all the way through and then fight, if there are any enemies, to fight them here at the corner. You can of course get this control box right here, which will shut off our arrow traps. That seems to be the last of them there. Head on up here for, again, the same thing. Some enemies. And again, a strong box. So, on the way back out, inside these groups of traps, we do have control boxes. If we stay here too long, like walk in where the blades are, we will get hit. So it does give us a moment to walk in, grab the box, and safely disable. But again, if we stayed there too long, we're supposed to be getting hit by the trap, but yeah. So if you stay there too long, they are supposed to activate. I wouldn't take the chance, and I would just disable and keep moving on. From this point, we do happen to have a shrine located on this wall. So if you need to use the shrine, go ahead and use that, as once you place the second key, the barrier drops and we actually head down. Now we cannot return unless we use like a dimension door. So at the bottom we have a bunch of golems. Once the golems are defeated, it's going to spawn a few more quells. Now do be careful fighting the quells right at the barrier. Sometimes they're going to go on the other side of the barrier, and then of course you can't actually hit them. Where's this guy going? Yep. And there we go. So once it's defeated, head straight down, and we're going to pull our lever here. This will open up the gates on either side and allow us to progress. Now the path that I always take is I'll head this direction, I'll make a left, and kind of head to the northeastern corner, which will take me right to this room here. And it does seem we lost our death ward. Let's just quickly fix that. So in these rooms, we are going to have some breakables. Now, if we get the breakables, they will spawn in the shadows. So just be careful if you're not wanting to fight them. Obviously, we do, as it will give us our breakable bonus. Now at specific points it will close and lock gates here. When it does, if you are locked behind the gate, rather than staying here, you will have to head all the way down and around that way. It will only ever lock the gate off on one way, so it's not going to like lock you in a section. But it will definitely lock the gate on you. So it might lock it before you get past or as you're getting past, but one way or another, a side will lock the gate, and as you can see, respawning enemies. Alright, so now we're going to head off further to the east here, just east of the shrines. We're going to head over to this dead end hall. Now, as soon as we open this door, it's going to spawn in a bunch of weeps. And then we'll be able to unlock this door and actually head through the portal for the optional here. Now, inside the optional, it's going to have a bunch of Maroots, or Inevitables, and we're just going to have to fight them. Now, I do want to point out, this is a bad place to die, because if you die, it will drop your stone here. And once you kill all the Inevitables, it's actually going to port us out of this area. And I mean immediately port us out. Like there's no coffee first. Like as you see, the second the last guy's hit points reach 0, bam, instantly out. So if you died, your stone is kind of stuck there. Alright, so here's an optional chest. This one has a higher than normal chance to drop those tome pages or shield fragments. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of them. I believe it can also drop some of the sigil pieces as well. But again, we never got any ourselves. From here is just to continue around. Now, all the while we are running around, we will come across some of these Orange Age vampires, the Priests of All. That is actually what we are looking for in order to progress. Alright, so here's a good example. As we break the breakables, in come some of the shadows. Once the shadows spawn though, you can break the rest of the ones safely without having to worry with any additional ones spawning in on you. Alright, so at this point we can head off to the right, which will take us back around. So if we got locked on the other side of the gate, this is the way we'd have to come. But since we didn't, we can head off to the southwest. Alright. So another good place for the vampire clergy to spawn is actually down here. Usually you get 1 to 2. You'll also get, as you can see, a horde of bats. And then again, just continuing on. Alright. So though it said the last offering, there are still more. Though we also have ransack at this point, it's kind of moot. And yeah, just work your way around the outside edge and you'll come across all the rooms. Alright, once we've killed all of the clergy, we want to head back right to here, which is where we initially started. As you see, it does have kind of one last wave of guys before we step into our final chamber. Now, what we need to do here is we need to talk to the High Priest of Vol, at which point all these Vol Honor Guard are going to become aggressive and start attacking us. So I'm also going to give us some silver weapons. That will help to bypass their damage reduction. And again, once they all die, that's that's going to be it. Quest completion.
High Priest congratulates you. You will stand
Go
before
ahead and grab your
the
loot.
act.
Now the end chest here will always have a sigil piece. Might not necessarily be the one that's supposed to drop in this or drops only from this quest, but it will guarantee one unless you are doing this quest on casual or if you've ransacked the chest. Obviously, if you've ransacked the chest, no more loot is going to spawn. From this point, all that's left is to recall out and turn in the quest. So, thank you again, guys, for joining me. It's been a blast. As you see, it took us about 17 minutes to get through the quest. We got about 32,000 experience. So it's overall not too terrible. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, all.